All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Bearded Clansmen.
Yeah.
What is it? Kyle, son of Kyle, and Shaggy Dom.
Yeah, Shaggy Dom.
You said Shaggy Wolf the first time, and then you changed it to Shaggy Dom, and I was like, oh man, like I get it. Okay, I get it. It's clicking. But we're here to do a review of the new chapter pack from the Archmaester cycle. Is that what it is?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And it's Favor of the Old Gods. So we're just going to jump right into it. We'll do our rating system still. That means literally nothing to anybody but us when we say it. And you guys can take that for whatever it means to you.
Yeah.
So the first card we got is Nymeria. Do you want to say anything before we start?
Nope.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Cool. The first card we got is Nymeria, 4-cost military icon, 3 strength, unique. Non-loyal, though. It's a dire wolf, and it's got Intimidate like the good wolves do. And no attachments. Keeps it safe from all the cool things that you don't want on it. And during a challenge in which you control a participating start character, kneel Nymeria and any number of other direwolves to have them participate in the challenge on your side. I like cards like this in Stark because then you can run Stark Reigns and things like that, or you can counter it gives Stark what they need to not have only military icons on the board.
Well, not only that, but it forces your opponent to think oh, are they going to really, gives you the option of I'm going to kneel this one wolf, or whatever you need to do to win the challenge, and then it kind of forces your opponent to think about overcommitting. And then plus,
and then you're like, whoop, never mind, I don't have to do that because you overcommitted, and now I'm just sitting on it.
Yeah, and if they overcommitted, the Intimidate kind of, in a sense, kind of did their job because you're kneeling the character. So
yeah, and Intimidate on a stick that you can activate as an action after you've committed attackers in that challenge is great. I think there's another card that does this, but having this on a unit or a character in this game is great. This effect of putting direwolves in. So
and then also, with their Stark plot, too. So I really like that plot. Just the fact of, like I said, it makes your opponent think overcommitting. And so
I think it puts Stark on a really even keel for being able to participate against.
I'm glad because they finally got a decent character, which they haven't had in a little while. So I give it a 5.
Oops, let's move that. Probably shouldn't move that when we're recording, huh?
Oh.
So the next card we have a 5/5. I think I'm a 5/4/5/2. I really like Nymeria, and I like that it perpetuates the direwolf theme.
Well, yeah, and then with the new brand too, you can give wolves another icon. So there's plenty of options. So
is this still working? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. The next one we have is a 2-cost attachment, Blessing, Favor of the Old Gods. The attached character gains the Old God trait, which I don't even know if that matters yet, but it's a thing.
It will.
The action is if you... and this is a non-loyal as well. So this one I had to read a few times. If each character, location, and attachment you control has the Stark affiliation, kneel Favor of the Old Gods to stand that character. Just put in hand, seal of the hand.
I give this a 1.5.
1.5.
Because then you're sacrificing all your neutral economy cards,
or you have to ward things, and I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
If I want to stand a character, I'll spend an extra gold for seal the hand.
And there's Stark effects that stand characters without having to.
Yeah, you have Jon Snow. You have Robb Stark. I don't like it.
Meh.
So.
A solid meh from the Clansmen.
Oh, you can't see it.
No, it's a pretty good one.
Oh, they did? Okay.
The drop was good.
Yeah.
All right, the next one we got is Hightower Spy, a 3-cost character with an intrigue and power icon. It's 2 strength. Non-loyal, it's got House Hightower and Spy traits. Ambush it for 3 as well, so it's the same ambush cost as its regular cost. But after enters play, choose a character and reveal the top card of your deck. Until the end of the phase, that character gets +X strength, where X is the cost. So I think it's okay. Pretty solid down the middle, okay, until you realize that you can play it with Flea Bottom.
I think it's a 4.
I was going to say.
Just because you can ambush it in for 3, okay? Then your next plot, or whatever, you sacrifice a character. Then you can Flea Bottom potentially in. Then you're getting 2 uses out of it. Plus, if you choose Randall, you're restanding him.
Yeah.
Or you can ambush it in and potentially use it to win the challenge that you need to win.
That's true. I do like that it has 2 icons too, and it doesn't require it to do anything except for enter the battlefield to trigger its effect. So you still have it for claim, you still have it for intrigue or power if you need to push a third challenge or a second challenge.
And it could be something that can help you push it over by winning a challenge by 5 or more strength, which those have cards where you can get that power. You power rush it. So I give it a 4.
Yeah, I think after talking about that, I think 4 is where I stand on. I'm a fan of it because I like that it combos well with a card that.
And it's an ambush, so I mean your opponent doesn't know what's in your hand until it's too late.
And someone was also saying, and I liked this, that like sometimes you don't want to reveal cards from your deck in this game, but I think Tyrell. I think I agree with the idea that Tyrell doesn't always have a ton of surprises necessarily. So revealing a top card and hitting something and you're like, oh my gosh, it was a card that lets you draw, or oh my gosh, it's an econ location. Is like,
well, then they have that location too where you can choose a card type, flip it over. If it is, you draw it, but if it isn't, you put it back on top of your deck. So that, let's say you didn't get it, you know what's on the top.
Or you could like combo it where you know what the top is by after playing this card and then draw it maybe.
That's true. Like that. They got the rose, the golden rose, and stuff like that. Oak bear.
So that one's a good one for Tyrell.
I like it for.
So the next card we have is Blessed by the Maiden. 2 cost attachment, non-loyal. It's a blessing, and it's a 7. And you can only put it on characters you control. And they gain the 7 trait, and they cannot have any attachments except blessings. So for 2 cost, the protection against attachments, I'm at like a 2 or 3. Like,
oh, I'm like a 3 to 4, just because it stops Craven, it stops Milk, it stops Crown of Gold, it stops. Like any negative
in a deck that has so much money, you can just replay those cards or like
And Tyrell has the money.
I guess
they can afford the 2.
I meant like in the sense of having money to play new characters instead of playing one thing that will drop off like an attachment. But I don't know. I think it depends on the deck you're playing. But
I think it at least needs to have like 1 copy.
Okay.
Just to try it out.
Okay. So the next one we got is Garrison on the Wall. It's a 6 cost military power. That's 6 strength. It's an army and it's non-loyal. No attachments, like most of the Night's Watch cards. And after Garrison on the Wall is declared as a defender, kneel a non-Night's Watch character to stand Garrison on the Wall.
Typical defense.
It's got 2 icons and it's 6 strength, which is like better than like a ranging party for the top half, not necessarily the bottom half, but
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's a good card. Don't get me wrong. My thing with Night's Watch is like it's just defend, and I don't know. I mean, it's still a good card. So speaking for the card itself, I give it like a 4, just because of the fact that you can restand it if you have a non-star character or Night's Watch.
Night's Watch.
So I mean, if you're running like Wild Wings with them, or
is the wall deck? The wall deck's fealty, right? Like most of the time, like it doesn't pull in other factions.
No, I've seen it where it has pulled other factions in. Like I've done it with
I guess you do a neutral character too. I forgot about that.
I did. I subbed mine with Baratheon.
Okay.
So I think it's decent.
I'll go with
card on itself.
I'll go with 3 just because I like it's 2 icons and 6 and it can stand itself. But I'm not sure like it goes in every Night's Watch deck.
Yeah.
All right. Next one we got is Obscene Arrows. It's a 0 cost attachment that's loyal. It's a weapon and it's a bestow 4. When attached character is attacking, remove a goal from Obsidian Arrows to give a defending character -3 strength till the end of the challenge. Only once per challenge. If you have an offensive Night's Watch deck, this could be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know that they are like big yet though.
I've seen some aggressive Night's Watch decks. The thing with this one is I saw online is a lot of people were kind of complaining because it's like almost the same thing as the Weirwood Bow.
Weirwood Bow, yeah.
And it does pretty much the same thing, just you don't have to put bestow on it. So, I mean, I still think it's an okay card. I'll give it like maybe 2.5.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at, like 2.
But if I would choose the bow attachment, I'd choose that one over this.
I agree
because you don't have to put bestow on it.
Yeah.
And it's a recurring. So.
Yeah. So about 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one we got is Sleece Baratheon, a 6 cost intrigue and power icon character that's 3 strength. It's unique and loyal. Queen, Lady, and Rulor traits. That's really cool. Forced reaction. After you marshal Sleece Baratheon, kneel your faction card, then kneel each non-lady character. Whoop! Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's cool.
I like it just to the fact of you're kneeling potentially your opponent's entire board. I mean, granted, your own as well, unless you're running like a lady deck. kind of thing, like a girls' night out
Yeah.
kind of deck. So,
But like, yeah, ladies in a different. I mean, there's not a ton of ladies in Baratheon, but like this is a good one.
you have Mel, you have.
I think Mel's a lady, like both of them, or just one.
I think both
Okay.
of them are.
But the roller trait too here. That is another thing that's really nice.
The roller trait.
Yeah.
You can go with Tyrell. You have a lot of ladies.
I'm a fan. I
like it.
I don't think there's a ton of stuff that requires you to kneel your faction card in Baratheon.
Not on top of my head.
Yeah, so this is a good effect for that. Get a unit and kneel your faction card if you're not fealtying or something, and kneel a crap load of people, and then with the next card, just keep something knelt forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
So the next card we have is Dragonstone Castle. It's a unique 3-cost location. That's also loyal. Dragonstone and Stronghold. After a phase begins, kneel Dragonstone Castle to choose a character. Until the end of the phase, that character cannot stand. So, good in the refresh phase or the is it the standing phase? Is that what they call it in this game? Standing phase.
Yeah, the standing phase. Yeah.
It's also good in a challenging phase if you're like worried about someone standing their characters mid-challenge or something like that.
Yeah, like Plaza of Pride
or like the effects we were talking about with Randall earlier. You could like
Randall,
Dragonstone Castle Randall during the challenge phase and knock down all the combos.
I would say going back to the Solis, I would say it's about a 4.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I forgot to do that. I'd say it's 4 too.
Another cool thing is you can think of if you paired it with the core Stannis. You and your opponent are only allowed to stand 2 characters at a time.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. And then, yeah.
Then you also here's another idea. You have another the plot. I forgot what the name of it is, but you skip the standing phase.
Oh yeah, that could be cool too.
So you can put her in, kneel your both boards basically. Hopefully you're more of your opponents than yourself, and then you skip the standing phase.
And then you have then
you have 2 rounds. You have 2 rounds without key characters in play. So
that's a good point. And then that's nice too, because if you have enough gold, you just marshal first and then put a few more like characters out or something small, and then you have a lot of stuff to do that turn.
Or if you have like Mel, then you can kneel on one of their lady characters if they have any. So
if you have like, is it Scene in Flames? Is that the
Scene in Flames?
That'll work off of Solis, which is nice. So you put Solis out and then kneel their last lady or whatever with Scene in Flames.
No, you wouldn't be able to kneel at Scene in Flames. You'd be able to see their.
Oh no, it's when
discard.
you play Mill. You have Mill out and you play the Solis, and then you can.
Yeah, then you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So I like it. With the Dragonstone Castle, I mean, I give it about a 3.
I think Dragonstone is a 4 for me, just because locking down a character for the rest of the game for 3 gold is like pretty. I think it's pretty good. I mean, this is something they'll have to remove if they want to play with like their good Asha or their the card that's running their deck or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's see. Sir Balin Swan, a 6-cost character with a military and power icons, 4 strength, non-loyal but unique. Kingsguard and Knight. Renown is the keyword that's good there. So 6 cost, 2 Bicon with 4 strength with Renown. That's pretty good.
I like it.
And then after a non-Lannister Knight character enters play, you gain 2 gold, limited once per phase. So if you can trigger that once, you paid 4 for him. Ish, if you can think about it that way.
Well, no, I mean
cool.
it's a non.
No, but you get the 2 gold back that you would pay for this guy after you play another Knight is what I mean. So
well, then if of course you would want to probably put with Tyrell because they have the most knights. They have those knights that are only like 2 cost anyway.
Yeah,
so you're getting a free knight.
And I think I saw that the Lannister, the Kingsguard Jaime actually makes this guy a Tricon.
Yeah, so we make him a Tricon, and he can use Kingslayer.
Yeah.
Now we got 2 characters.
So just because he has Kingslayer on him, 6 out of 5 for me. No,
6 out of 5.
I think he's like a 3 or 4 depending on the deck. I think this is great, and
but he also
like
has Renown too.
No, but and that's why I like it is because it's a solid include for the Knights deck that I think could come out soon.
I would say it's about a 4.5.
Okay.
Because then if you have it paired up with that what's the guy's name? Sorry, I can't remember the guy's name. But you remove a gold to put a Knight character in.
Is it in the last pack or?
I don't know.
Okay. But
anyways, you can put a Knight character in. I mean, granted, you have to discard it at the end of the phase, but
you could get some like money. I don't know. That's cool. You could swing some power.
But it says interplay, so I mean, you can actually put one in, gain 2 gold.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'd say like 4. I'm sitting on 4. That's good for me.
Yeah, I'd say 4.
I like this one a lot too. 1 Lacoste location, Sweet Circe is unique and loyal. It's a warship, and that's cool. Warships are fun.
Yeah.
During a challenge phase, you may spend gold on Sweet Circe if it in your gold pool. So another treasury or gold outlet for you. And you can, after you win an entry challenge, move 1 gold from the treasury to Sweet Circe. Yep. So lets you sit on your gold more in Lannister, and you can use it during challenges. So I feel like it fits right in with like everything every Lannister deck wants to do, and it only costs 1 gold, which means it's super easy to set up.
Yep, and it just helps you with the whole ambush kind of theory, and
like all
it
the
just sets
silly
it up.
events, like without his beard and all that stuff to do like the hand destruction.
Yeah, or like Hear Me Roar. What's the other one? There's a bunch of like Tyrion's Chain, Things I Do for Love.
Is there any like super high cost Lannister events that don't get played because they're hard to play that this could enable? Because I'd like to see if that's a thing. Like, I don't know if there's like, this game doesn't typically have events that are over 4. You know, maybe there's some 5, but they're like.
Well,
really...
I mean, I would think the best card potentially would be the Things I Do for Love, because let's say you have some gold left over from your turn, but then you have, let's say, 3 or 4 gold on her on this location.
Yeah,
you could potentially send a big guy back to the opponent's hand.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So
I'm at a 4 for this guy because Sweet Circe, I think, for what decks it's in that I don't play or like, I think it's really good.
Yeah, and honestly, you're probably gonna win some intrigue challenges if you build around it with Cersei and.
You mean if you build a Lannister deck, you're gonna win?
Yeah, if you build a Lannister deck, you're at one point or another you're gonna win an intrigue.
All right, first, So you're
4.
You're okay with 4?
Yeah.
All right, so the next card we got is a 3-cost character. It's It's got military icon and 3 strength. It's Coastal Reavers. It's not unique or loyal. It's a raider character, and after it enters play, choose an opponent. That card, the player chooses a card from his or her hand and places it on top of the deck. Their deck. Draw locking is good, but I don't think that this guy gets a really good rating from me, just because I want other things in my Greyjoy decks.
I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool just to try at least 1 copy, because then you're forcing your opponent to put one of their cards on top of the deck, which, you know, Greyjoy now is going to be known for pillaging.
Yeah.
You're, potentially your opponent might want every card in their hand.
I don't disagree with the pillage thing because I think that's a good point, but I feel like it's too combo-y to have to play this guy then like successfully pillage and you're like, cool, I did it, and you're gonna get it like every once in a while. But the thing I also worry about this card is like that you get to let them choose, and that you might be protecting them. They might be able to protect themselves from intrigue challenges if you don't play it right. Like I think it has the potential to like be misplayed easily. And that worries me because I'm not the best player. So like if I put it in a deck, I'd be like, oh crap, and then they put their bomb right on top of their deck, and I can't pillage, and then I'm like, oh, all I have left is intrigue. But if you're a skill player, I can see this card being cool because you could combo it.
Well, we'll find out because I'll put it in my deck before the store championship today.
All right then, challenge accepted. I like this new card a lot. Like 1 cost attachment, House Harlow, challenge action, kneel a warship, the location to have a character gain pillage, renown, or stealth until the end of the phase, and it's non-unique, so you can have 3 out, and it's a positive attachment that is good. Like you'd love to start the game with this thing if you have like any of the ships. So last time we saw Blackwind, right? We have the Great Kraken. We have all these ships in Greyjoy that don't kneel to do anything. Yeah. And you can just like use them to do this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you also have Iron Fleet Scout, which ideally you would want to use it for the effect. But if you know you're going to win the challenge, you could potentially...
Or if you just want to stealth somebody, that way you don't even have to worry about it, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, or if you just need that renown to kind of give that last push for power to win the game. So,
and I think I like this too because... it goes in that deck that I always talk about liking, which is the like Baratheon Greyjoy deck, because it's like you can put a bunch of warships in there, and now you get a bunch of like synergy between warships. So.
Yeah, I think it's definitely good with the banner house.
Oh yeah, I'm at a 4 for this one.
I'm gonna give it a 3 just because I haven't tried it yet.
Do we rate the Coastal Reaver?
Oh no.
Okay, Coastal Reaver for me is like a 2.
I'll give it a 3.5. Okay.
Yeah, I'm at 4 for support of Harlow.
Okay.
How about you? What were you at?
I think like 3.
Okay. Our next card is going to be Wise Maester.
Master.
Maester. Wait,
Wise.
yeah, you're right. It's Wise Master. 3-cost character. It's intrigue and power. 3 strength, and it's non-unique and non-loyal. It's an ally, so be careful there. Bestow 3 and discard 1 gold from Wise Master to return an out-of-faction attachment or event from your discard pile to your hand. I'm just gonna put this guy right here.
That's a 5.
We're gonna move on to. Oh, you mean -5?
No, 5.
I think that's like a 2 or 1.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Not a fan.
Oh, all right. It said out of faction.
Yeah, because it doesn't. Because
okay.
neutral is not an out of faction.
Neutral's not. What?
Neutral is if you say non-blah faction, neutral is fine, but neutral is not out of faction for game rule purposes. I just learned that this morning.
What?
That's why it dropped for me, because I was like, wow, okay, you can't even pull back like some of the stuff you'd want, which is like milks or anything like that, which makes it significantly less cool.
What? No.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just didn't know that either. I didn't know that either.
I was very much like, oh wow, that makes this a lot worse. I would agree with you if it was like if you could pull like neutrals back, but
yeah, like nightmares and all that, hand and judgment.
What? Or you're like what is it, Last of the Giants? If you got that kind of deck going on,
yeah,
that could be. I don't know why I go to that every time. It's just it was my favorite mechanic with various like, boom, explosion.
Are you sure?
We can check it out. You can leave it in the comments too. But if it can't pull neutrals back for me, it's like a 1 or 2.
If you can't pull neutrals, then what is?
What is this for?
What is it for? Yeah, what does it mean?
We'll see someday when they release cards that are worth putting in Targaryen that are.
I mean, I guess. I mean, granted, you can do your Banner House events, but all right, I'll go with it for right now.
So Doms, if it's neutral, go with Doms. If it's not neutral, go.
If it's neutrals, that's like a 5.
Yeah.
If it's not neutrals, a 1.
All right, you've got it here. You heard it here, folks. Okay, then we got 1 cost location Yonkai. It's Essos, and it's bestow 4. During a challenge in which you're attacking the attacking player, kneel Yonkai and discard 1 or X gold from it. 1 gold. I already know what I'm going to say to this card. With X strength or lower, remove them from the challenge. X cannot be 0. Then if you win the challenge, place 2 gold from the treasury on Yonkai. So you always bestow at least 1 on this card. So it costs 2. And then it does a very similar thing to that like weird investment card, as long as you can keep winning challenges, right?
Yeah, as long as you keep winning, you get the 2 gold. However, because we were talking earlier, it says to remove a character with that strength.
Each character that strength the lower.
Well, let's say your opponent is posing for 3 strength characters, not a 1. Remember we were talking about discarding 1, even though you know you're going to win it.
Yeah.
And then you get the 2 gold on top of it. I wonder if that would even matter, like if you could do that, because you have to remove. You
don't have to like
each character.
I guess you're right. So there's always this like weird thing about like, can you activate an effect if it doesn't? So can you pay a cost of an effect if the outcome of that cost doesn't affect the game state? And usually the answer is 100% no. So the interesting part about this card is, could you remove a gold from it in order to remove 0 characters from the combat, and then get 2 gold after you win, even if you're going to win already? That's a question I don't know the answer to, and I would think that based off of the hard ruling, you would not be able to do that because the game state doesn't change after you activate the effect. And I'm talking about the post-cost game state, right? So game states are always going to change with cost. That's something that you don't consider when you're considering resolving effects. But this one does not have any effect after if you don't have any 1 strength characters. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing. There's definitely a lot of cards to reduce character strength. So then if you're able to get them down to that 1 or 2, you can discard the 2.
You can remove your own characters too.
Yeah.
Which is a thing you throw in a chump and they're like, oh, okay, what are you doing? Or they see Yonkai and they're like, okay, that guy's going to do that. So I really have to commit to this challenge because I don't want him to get 2 more gold on Yonkai to do it later.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say limit. So you could activate it 6 times in 1 turn if you could, if you were feeling feisty.
If you can win it, yeah.
Yeah, if you can win 6 challenges. But I don't know. For me, this is like a 3, and maybe verging on 4, depending on like the decks I see it in.
I can see it being like a 3.5, just because you have Asapor, all the burn effects to bring character strength down, so you're able to bring a big character down to the 1 or 2 strength area, and then you just discard whatever gold you need, and then you're gonna get it back.
Yeah.
So,
and as long as you're not doing more than 2 or something, you can just kind of keep doing it over and over again. All right.
To get that on the post. So.
All right, we're into Dom's favorite cards. 1 cost character. We got the Plinky Town Trader, Janky Town Trader is what you should call him, because there's some weird stuff you can do with this card, I think. 1 cost, and again, 1 strength, non-unique, non-loyal in the merchant. You can bestow 5, and when it leaves play, you put a non-Martell character with printed cost X or lower into play from your hand, or X is the number of gold on Janky Town Trader. And until the end of the phase, the character can't leave play. That's a cool effect. That last sentence is actually pretty fun. Like, yeah. So like, does that mean that you cannot choose that as a military claim? Because it can't leave play for the same as like the Eerie? Like you can't choose it anymore because it's no longer... Okay.
I would think it would be, yeah.
Okay. But what do you think about this card? I think there's some crazy stuff you could do with this if you have enough money, but... yeah, I don't know. I
think it would be good. It's kind of like one of those... hold on, I was rereading it. Sorry. It's good, like, of course you want to banner a house or potentially a neutral card. You can definitely search your deck and kind of, if you're able to get all 5 gold, I mean, you can get some decent characters for 5 gold.
If you like, yeah, that's true. If you like combo it.
And it's not loyal, so I mean, you can, like Lannister, you can do Cersei.
That's true.
Core Cersei, Tyrion.
Those are 5 costs?
Tyrion's 5 costs.
Okay.
Cersei's 4.
Okay.
You can do the Hound. That's 3.
Yeah. I wonder if like there's effects where you can like, instead of it having to be like military claim to activate this effect, where you like you push it back to your own hand, and then you're playing like other stuff. So like with like Ariane, if you were like, if you, well, I don't know if that works with her, but you can do some stuff where maybe in Martell you can jump a few characters back and then put a few characters out and then be able to do it again next or later if you have the money. And that's why I was thinking Janky Town Raider, because I was like, you could just like be flipping units in and out all over the place and have some stuff happen, and you might be able to trigger like a bunch of like interplay effects like multiple times if you can start jumping things around.
Yeah, or if you get it to set, like if you march to the wall it or sacrifice it, you can flea bottom back in.
Yeah,
and
you can't bestow it though if you flea bottom. I don't think.
I think you can, because it says once it enters play, you can use X amount of gold.
Sweet.
From your gold pool. So
that's good. That's awesome, actually.
So just another option.
I think that card for me is like a 3, but it could get higher depending on where I see it. Just like Yonkai, like I really want to see it if it. Well, okay, maybe a 2, and it gets better if it's in a deck with it like Yonkai, because it seems like it could be really weird. Let's get weird.
I want to have hope for this. I keep tapping the table. I want to have hopes for this, so I'm gonna give it a 4.
Whoa!
Just because it's Martell.
He's imbuing hope. He's imbuing hope. Scooch over just a little bit. I think we have your face in the card.
Sorry.
Gotta get close.
Ugh.
Beard Velcro. Okay, so the next one we have is I said Stone earlier. Shandy Stone. 2 cost location, non-loyal, non-loyal and unique. It's a Dorn stronghold. And after you lose a challenge as a defending player, kneel Shandy Stone to choose the standing character. One of every Martell deck. Done.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll let you say something first before we move on.
No, I really like it, because I mean, with Martell, it's kind of like you want to lose, and with all their shenanigans that they got.
How many loss triggers could you activate after the big box comes out? Can you imagine?
A million.
Like, you're just like, hold on a second, I just lost a challenge. They're like, oh god, I don't want to lose just because I don't want to have to wait for all the effect activation.
It's almost like you want to ask your opponent, hey, just want to ask, do you have any actions?
Are you sure you want to
win? And if they say no, okay, well, I got like 15 of them, so...
I'm assuming you're passing priority unless you say something.
Yeah, until you stop me, I'm going to keep going.
I think this card is cool. Like,
I think it's really cool. I give it like a 4.5.
Yeah, I'm definitely right there.
Just because of the fact of you want to lose. They have those events where it's like unbowed, unbroken event where you can stop your opponent from doing a different challenge. You have the Maester who takes away icons. You have Sunspear, which ups the claim. I mean, there's a lot of shenanigans that Martell has. So.
I think of it like this is like right on your opponent's last challenge, right? And you just like trigger all of these like after you lose effects, and then it's your turn to challenge. Yeah. And your board state is like so supreme. You've hit their hand already with weird stuff. You've hit some of the characters that don't have icons anymore, and now you're like, oh, I lost 2 or 3 challenges, but now I'm going to like come back, and it's gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah, and it's almost like
gets me excited. I have the goosebumps just talking about that deck.
And then it also makes your opponent think like, you know, they're gonna restand the character anyway. You know, of course you're gonna stand a good character, so they have to think about the future game of, am I gonna be able to defend it when they restand a character with renown or or whatever else they have. I
think it's cool. I'm a fan.
I like it.
I'm excited. Oh god, no, off the table. All right, we're into the neutrals. We have a 5-cost character. It's a military and power icon with 5 strength. Warriors, Sons, Army, and 7. No attachments. That's kind of cool. Reaction: after an opponent plays an event during a challenge in which your Warriors, Sons is participating, move 1 power from that opponent's faction card to Warriors, Sons.
I like it.
Don't play events here. That seems cool. Like, I'm a fan of the whole 7 theme. I don't know if it's really strong enough to build a deck around right now. But
they have that one guy. Is it the
High Septon?
Yeah, where you can divert
events
from one
character isn't there like beggars one. Something beggars?
Yeah, beggar brothers.
Yeah, something like that. That's another card that does it. I just don't know if there's literally enough to make a deck out of. Like if you wanted to do like banners or
no,
Brother Without Banners. Or
but
something.
I think it's like if it could be something that could be useful, like with the 7 if you have the High Septon in there. I mean, I wouldn't build a whole deck around it, but it'd be kind of cool just to throw in a couple copies of different 7 cards.
Now I'm thinking, yeah, I agree, and I'm thinking the blessing card we saw earlier. You could throw Tyrell in, right? Then use all the janky Tyrell effects to remove this guy from the challenge after they've played events. So you're like sitting here, like having it in a challenge. They're doing stuff, trying to combat your challenge, and you're like, I'm good. I'm gonna pull them back, and they may win, but you just pulled like maybe 2 or 3 power from them, or stop them from playing a bunch of events, or it could be interesting. I'm at 3 because I just convinced myself that it could be fun if you build the right deck.
I think it's around 3.5 to 4, just because your opponent now has to think of, man, I have this event, I want to use it. However, I'm so close to winning, I don't want to give them a power, and it's a close game anyway. So I'd probably give it 3.5. It might be more or less after I try it. But.
Look at the art too. I'm a fan of this art.
Yeah,
it's really pretty. It's really pretty.
Yeah, that shield is BA.
Right. All right. We got this next card. It's I think it's called Seized by the Guards or something like that. I don't really know.
Yeah, Seized by the Guards.
1 cost attachment. It's a condition. You put it on a non-limited location only. You can bestow 4 on it in its terminal. And it's got the treat attached location as if its printed text box were blank except for traits. And then a force reaction is after the marshalling phase begins, sacrifice Seized by the Guards unless you discard a gold from it. So like any factions frozen solid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the Wall, the Red Keep, the Asapor.
Do you how much gold do you put it on it? Is my question. Do you play for 3 most of the time?
I would say between 2 and 3, just because it's a condition attachment. It depends on the state of the game.
A maester can get rid of this, like certain maesters, which makes me laugh a lot.
It just depends on the situation. Yeah, 1, did they use confiscation already? 2, if they have the maester, with the macer's chain or
Crescent.
Crescent, yeah. Crescent can take it away. So I mean, it just depends on the game state. I kind of like it just because it's an option to mess up your opponent's game plan potentially. Yeah,
and even at 1, it's after the marshalling phase begins, so you at least get it for a turn. Now, which could be okay.
Now another thing is if you're playing like Unbridled Generosity, you can put another gold on it. So
I wonder if anybody's built the like mega bestow deck yet. If
they're just think so,
because you can't put.
You should do it.
I'll do it. Fudge it. I'll do it. What is that? Your phone?
Yeah, it's my phone.
Clansmen don't have phone. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I'll do it. I'll try it, and it'll be terrible, and it won't work. And I will play it on Iron Throne with the first person, or Iron Throne with the first person that comments on this video, and I'll build this janky bestow deck that won't work. It's a challenge to everybody out there.
I'm gonna comment right
no,
after this.
Anybody who's not in the video. All right, Seized by the Guards could be cool. I'm a fan. I say 3 for me because
it just gives that option, like how Stark has Frozen Solid. It just kind of makes it a little bit more fair.
Every faction does have nightmares, but this is like a because nightmares cost 1, I think, right?
Yeah.
And so this is like a more permanent nightmares if you have the money to pay for it. So if you're only ever planning on putting nothing on this card, just run nightmares unless you want 6 nightmares. And nightmares is exclusively better because it can do more than just locations. But if you want more stuff and you're worried about a location heavy meta, like I think this is an easy 2 of maybe.
Yeah.
So.
Put a 3 gold on it.
All right, I love the amount of agendas that are coming out in this cycle. It's like agenda, an explosion of deck building stuff that's all very good. So this agenda, not my favorite, but it's still really cool, and it could be a lot better, but it's called Greensight. It's a forced reaction. After the draw phase begins, reveal the top card of each player's deck, and you may kneel your faction card to discard those cards. So, I mean, you keep in mind, like, you're competing with only kneel faction cards that are in your deck now because you don't have fealty, you don't have the other stuff that require you to do it. So you're choosing this is your thing to do that with. I think it'd be cool. Like, draw filtering is not bad, especially when you can stop your opponent from getting a bomb, if that's possible.
Yeah. The only thing is, like you said, you got to watch out for the kneeling the faction card. So if you have cards where you have to kneel it to activate the effect, it kind of takes that out of the play potentially. But being able to see the top card of your opponent's hand, even if you don't discard it, you can see what card they're drawing into, at least one card they're drawing into.
As we said earlier, some people really care about the secrecy of their deck in this game, in the sense of, I don't want them to know my cards from the other faction, from my banner faction or whatever.
Yeah, I would give it about a 3.5, just because, like I said, I haven't tried any of these cards yet, so I think there's potential. I mean, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be funner than the Conclave.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
pulling out cards from your deck. I agree. I think for me that I like the effect on this card because of the build spaces that they could do in the future because of it with the old god stuff. Like, because right now we have Green Dreams, which is a card that's kind of similar to this. Whenever they attack, the character attacks, you get to look at the top card from someone's deck, right?
No, it's whenever the character kneels. Which I don't understand why you would put it on your opponent's character.
Because the main reason I think is because if they attack with it, you get information, even at the very least. Like, so you put on their character, if they commit it to a challenge, then that character will kneel, right? So then you get some insight before the challenge.
But do you get the insight, or does your opponent get?
You control the attachment, so you get the effects from it.
Okay.
So like that's the thing, is like controlling the attachment means that you get to activate the effects.
I've always put it on my character, so
it's possible too. Because if you're going to be committing challenges, of course, like it's not a hard decision, right? But if you want your opponent to have to think about how they're committing to challenges, and if in a deck that might have a lot of tricks that they might want to kind of hide stuff from it, then you make their decision space harder. Yeah. Which is something in this game that can matter.
Yeah. I could totally mess with your opponent's head.
Yeah, so I'm at like a 2-3, but I want to see where it goes. So like I'm excited for it, but right now I think it's low.
Yeah.
The last card we have is the plot card that goes over Dom's face because we have small screen.
Oh.
No, you're good. This is just a weirdly sideways card.
Oh, good.
King of the North. King of the North. King of the North. 5 income, 2 initiative, 1 claim, and 6 reserve. Plot deck limit 1 because it is a kingdom plot, and while the player does not control a king character, he or she cannot do anything. They basically don't get to play. Cannot trigger abilities on characters, locations, or attachments. Whew. That is a rough turn. And the thing I have here is that in this game you play 1 match per round, and if you see this card and you were not like you can't sideboard cards in, so you have to have a king in your deck. I honestly don't know off the top of my head how prevalent that is. Maybe 1 king per deck in most decks. I don't know, but
they have those attachments that give your characters.
Yeah, that's right. The crowns, right?
The king trait. So I mean, there's different options you can do.
For me, this is like the red wedding, like where we flip it. You're like, oh crap, I have to deal with this now.
I haven't really tried the red wedding, to be honest with you.
I guess they meant just in the surprise, like when your opponent was like, you're like flipping something that's gonna like heads on spikes or something common that's gonna like be a normal part of most like kind of decks, and someone flips King of the North and you're like, oh no, like that's not good, because then like your whole team's just done, your milks are out, your cravens are out, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this turn just flipped really hard for me and I don't know what to do.
I mean, I like it. I mean, the text is good. I also like it because of the gold. 5 gold, 6 reserve. Just on that alone is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the not being able to trigger abilities.
So if you see a king on the board, be wary, because you might get hit with King of the North. And and there could be cards. I don't know.
I think it's better than Red Wedding, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I'd agree. I just meant in the sense of like, if someone flips Red Wedding up, they're gonna activate Red Wedding. Like, you don't activate that card unless you know you're gonna be like taking a bunch of their characters, right? So like, you flip up King of the North because you know you're gonna dominate this turn. You flip up Red Wedding because you know you're gonna take out some of their lords and ladies. It's like one of those ones where, unless your opponent is like a high tier level opponent, they're gonna be like, oh no, like this isn't something I was planning for. This isn't a normal plot card. So I agree with you. I think this card's more universal than Red Wedding, but I'm still scared when it flips up versus Red Wedding if I'm not thinking about it.
I think you get scared over any plot that gets flipped over.
I mean, that's fair. Plots are kind of intimidating, but
you gotta
they're
have the right
ones.
ones.
So thanks for watching and listening, and however you consume this media. That was our Favor of the Old Gods pack review from the Bearded Clansmen. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna go do store champ stuff. We're gonna be commentating on the games today, and I don't know if Dom is. It depends on how he does and how many people we have show up and stuff. But but you should be able to see the store champs today on stream. Are you? And then we're gonna record it, right? And we're gonna put it out on YouTube after.
We're gonna record it, yes.
So you'll get to hear my serene voice talking about a game that I really like. This is my first time I ever commentated, so I'm gonna try to intersperse cards and things. So get excited if you're watching this video first. Go check it out. If you've already seen it, make sure you let us know if you liked it or not, and make sure you let us know if you like this video or not.
Are we doing Twitch?
Yeah, we're gonna be streaming on Twitch, but by the time they see this, it'll probably be on YouTube already.
Okay.
Unless enough. I can get this out before we start the tournament and people watch it. Then you can check out Switch. Or
Switch. I think it starts in like 15 minutes. Something like that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Good luck, everybody. Have fun, and remember, tell us what you like, what you don't like, and comment, subscribe.
Thanks.
Bye.